Hi, everybody. My name is Rafa Lombardino, and this is Translation Confessional. Imposter syndrome. Just the other day, a new client sent me a revised version of a translation I had delivered days earlier. The email had some very harsh comments. Grammar errors, typos, sentences that didn't read naturally. My heart sank. I got ready to open the file thinking about how I would address such negative feedback. I knew I had paid very close attention to the contents. I read and reread my translation. I made sure it was all ready to go. Once I could see the file with all those track changes, I realized that was not the file I had worked on. The client had originally mentioned that they needed their Spanish document translated into both Brazilian Portuguese and American English, and I had told them that I'd be more than happy to work on both versions. However, they decided to hire me only for the Brazilian version, since I was born in Brazil. For the English version, they went with someone else, someone actually born in the United States. Anyway, I had to explain that I couldn't approve or reject all the suggested changes because that was not my original work. They should go back to their English translator and ask them to update their work based on the reviewer's feedback. When I actually got my revised version back, there was only minor style changes. I knew the target audience of my translation would be a young crowd, and I had been told to make sure the translation sounded informal. So I decided to add that definite article in front of people's names. In Portuguese, we add a or o in front of a name to give that informal tone. A Maria, o João. It would be the same as saying the Mary or the John. And in Portuguese, that adds a certain layer of familiarity, and I thought it was more than appropriate for the target audience. Well, the reviewer didn't quite like it and removed all those articles. There are also some changes to verbs and pronouns, which I personally thought made the text a little more formal. I went ahead and approved all the suitable changes and sent the file back to the client, explaining that the suggestions were taking a little bit of the informality out of the translation, but that either way, both versions were accurate and they could make a final decision on which version they wanted to use. All that was just to say that even though I have over 20 years of experience as a translator, my heart still sank when I got the negative feedback that wasn't even meant for me. I guess it's something that many translators and interpreters go through, and it was only a few years ago that I found out there's a name for it: imposter syndrome. It's that fear that you could be found out at any moment, as if you're faking it until you make it. I guess it's all due to the fact that our field is so subjective, and two people will hardly ever interpret the same sentence the same way. That just adds to the game of second guessing and doubting yourself. Looking on the brighter side, if you suffer from imposter syndrome, you may be going down the right path. At least it means you know you don't have all the answers, and you take a moment to reassess your skills, so you're halfway towards improving yourself every day. Send me an email at rlombardino@wordawareness.com or leave a voice message on my Anchor page. If I get enough feedback and voice messages, I can go back to the subject and post a special podcast episode with everyone's opinion on this very same theme. By the way, my Anchor page is anchor.fm/translation-confessional. I look forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned for weekly episodes and subscribe to Translation Confessional through your favorite podcast app.